Hello everyone, welcome to LingLing Mandarin. 大家好，我是LingLing. Today, before we start, I have one question for you. Would you like to speak Chinese like a native and sound like a native? If your answer is yes, then today's video is for you. In the past few years, both me and many other Chinese teachers all found out one single common mistake that both beginner and intermediate students all make when they greet with people. That is always to use the phrase 你好 and 你好吗. So they always stuck with this phrase, and they basically use this phrase to greet with anyone and in any situation without knowing that it is not always correct. So for example, if I ever use the word 你好 to greet my mom, she might think I have gone mad. And if I use the phrase 你好 again with my friends, some of them will think it's weird. Some people will regard that as an insult. Some people might think that it is a sign of a breakdown of friendship. So today in my video, I'm going to explain why we cannot always use the phrase 你好 or 你好吗 to anyone. And also, I'm going to show you other phrases we can use to replace the phrase 你好 and 你好吗, which will enable you to greet more naturally and more effectively with anyone and in any situation. So what's the reason we can't always use the phrase 你好 and 你好吗 with everyone? Well, I know in English the phrase hello and how are you can basically use with anyone in any situation. However, in Chinese, the phrase 你好 or 你好吗, these kind of phrases, the use of them is not 100% equivalent to that in English. The second reason is to do with how the language is influenced by its culture. China is actually a society of social collections, which means the way we greet one another or the way we talk with one another really depends on the type of social collections, and we call that 关系社会. And in China, for every individual in society, despite the numbers or types of the social collections, all of their contacts can fall into two types of groups. The first group, the distant group. The second, the long-distant group. The distant group refers to people we feel we are more distant from, like our senior managers, our boss, or even our teachers. And the long-distant group refer to our family and friends or neighbors, just anyone we feel we are more comfortable and more close with. So the way we greet with one another or we talk with one another really depends on which type of group they are in. And now let's look at the phrases we can use to greet people in these two different groups. Let's start with the distant group. So phrases we can use for this group, including the commonly used 你好, hello, and 你好吗, how are you? Other phrases we can use, including the ones we have been learning from the textbooks, which are 早上好 or 早. Next one, 下午好, good afternoon. And third, 晚上好, good evening. So these will be the phrases you are going to use for people you don't really know very well. And for example, you can use them when you go to a job interview. You can use them when you are talking to a senior manager or in a conference call. And you can use them when you are asking for road directions. So just any situation you feel you need to show more respect. Now let's look at the second group, the long distance group. So people in this group, as I mentioned before, it belongs to our family and friends and anybody we feel more comfortable or more close with. And I'm going to show you 8 phrases you can use to greet with one another in this group. Number 1, the most simple one, hi. It is equivalent to the English word of hi, and it is the most common way to greet people in China among family and friends. For example, for my friends, when they meet me, they always say Hi, LingLing. Number 2, 吃了吗? 吃 means eat. 吗 is a question. So 吃了吗? Have you eaten? Actually, it just means how are you? So when you answer, it doesn't matter if you have eat or not. You simply can just say 吃了. It means I'm fine. And this phrase is the most commonly used for neighbors to greet one another. Number 3, 好久不见. 好久 means a long time. 不见 means not to say. 好久不见, hence it means long time no see. So you can use this phrase when you haven't seen your family or friends for a very long time. So for example, if you haven't seen your brother or best friend for like weeks or months and you see them, you can say 好久不见. Number 4, 最近怎么样? 最近 means recently. 怎么样 means how. So 最近怎么样 means how are you recently? This is just a much more common and more natural way to greet one another and asking how are you. Number 5, 你在忙什么? 忙 means busy. 什么 means what. So 你在忙什么 means what are you busy with, which is also another way to greet people and to start a conversation. Number 6, 你在干嘛? So 干嘛 is another very informal or casual way of saying do what. So 你在干嘛 means what are you up to? What have you been doing? So it's quite similar to the one before. Number 7, hey, 你去哪儿? 去 means to go, 哪 means where. So hey, 你去哪 means hey, where are you going? So you are using this phrase a bit more when you actually just encounter a friend by accident. For example, if you are shopping, you see your friend by accident, you will say, hey, 你去哪儿? So that is how we start a conversation. And now, number 8, 喂. Very, very simple, just one word, 喂. So we use this word when we actually answer the phone calls. It just means hello. So for example, now my friend Toby is calling me, so I'm going to answer it. 喂, Toby. So just as simple as this. We use the word 喂 to answer phone calls, and you know what? No matter with anyone, formal or informal, or regardless of the type of groups, we always use this word to answer phone calls to start with. When you are learning a new language, you can never just walk away from its culture, especially a language like Chinese language. So just like the phrases we are learning today to greet people, the words we pick truly reflects the kind of social connections we have with one another. For my students who are watching this video, I want to double confirm with you that it is never wrong for you to say hello, 你好, and how are you, 你好吗, with me, because in Chinese culture we do regard and respect our teachers very highly, so these kind of phrases are absolutely correct. However, I do encourage everyone to use other phrases a bit more because I don't want you to fall into the habit of these limited phrases. Well, that's all for today. I hope you have enjoyed my video and find the content useful. If you like it, please give me a thumb up and please remember to subscribe. I will see you next time. 再见!